Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert. And we're going to continue with what I can run on solar. So yesterday, I did the one about the solar, the main solar in the cabin. And a couple of items I forgot to mention that I run on it. Over there, 2 window air conditioners. They're both, I think, 5,000 BTU. I got one in the bedroom and one in the living room. And I run those in the summertime. No, never need them in the wintertime. That's probably why I forgot them. Right? You know who I'm talking about. You mentioned that. Yeah, I start to forget a lot of things. And sometimes I even forget to forget. Anyway, the other thing I forgot to mention was my shallow well pump. Now remember, I got one up there on the counter there. That's the one that went out on me, and I repaired it, so it's all ready to go back in and anytime I need it. But I already bought another one while they were on sale, so I have a backup, and that's the one that's installed all the way in the back corner back there. Remember, I don't have a well. I run off of delivered water stored in my water tank. And the blue barrels are an add-on that I put on there and manifolded those all the way around. So I could, because it's a 2,500 gallon tank, and I added over 800 gallons there. So I got 3,300 gallons available at that location. And that usually lasts me quite a while. It's still half full from my last fill up, so that'll go a little while longer. All right, so let's get past yesterday's and let's talk about the van. I mentioned I have a solar system in the van. Now, I've been cleaning the van out. This used to be full of tools, and setting it up. I'm working on setting it up to become a bug out camper, so I can go out and do some prospecting. But of course, with the puppies and all the other stuff that's going on, haven't had time for that. So anyway, there's my inverter up on top. That's the old Harbor Freight controller. And then I have those 2 batteries hooked in parallel, 2 12-volt batteries. But when I was doing the work to start this cabin, the only one I had was that yellow one. I didn't have the big one. I got that big one from Andy. And I only had was that little yellow one there. And that thing was a workhorse. But I had a second battery, so I figured why not add it to the system so it gives me a little bit more power. So up on the roof of this van, I went to Pep Boys and I bought just a regular roof rack. And let's see if I can get up the ladder here. Yeah. What a drag it is getting old. Anyway, there's 3 15-watt panels. They're 15 watts each. These are the original Harbor Freight panels. And it was a 45-watt system. And what I did was I bought the regular roof rack, adjustable roof rack to fit any vehicle at Pep Boys. And then I put a piece of angle aluminum, 1x1, on top of it and bolted it through with self-drilling, self-tapping screws. And then that gave me something to mount my panels to. And then you can see I shot self-drilling, self-tapping screws through the angle aluminum here into the panels themselves to hold them in place. So that's the panels right there. And I know I can't see it from here, but I know at least one of them is cracked from a car wash. I swung the hose over the top and slammed down on the glass and cracked it. But it hasn't affected the way this thing runs at all. So I'm not going to fix anything that's not broken. You've heard me say that many a times. So anyway, let's get around the side here. And open some doors, and here we go. So here's the inverter. Now this is a 2000 to 4000 with an LED display. All right, now it's showing my batteries right now are at 12.7, as the solar panels keep these batteries charged during the day. So what I did was now let's sit down here a second. What I did was I made a little shelf and strapped the old Harbor Freight. It says what it is there, the 45 watt, 45 watt solar kit from Harbor Freight. Now I don't even think they sell these anymore, but I've got quite a few of them from my original days in learning about solar, and they're still working, and they're 20 years older. So I strapped that onto a little wooden shelf here so it won't bounce around when I'm driving. And this, I don't think they make this one anymore either. This is a 2000 to 4000 watt. It's modified sine wave, but it's pretty darn clean for a modified sine wave. So I don't have any problem using it to plug a computer in or anything like that. I've done that quite a few times over the years. I have a second one of these inside of the old motorhome there. So I'll show you that someday. We'll go in there and take a look at that. But anyway, I got an extension cord I tossed in here, and we'll take this extension cord and we will plug it in to the inverter. Okay, and let's turn the inverter on. Okay, so I dropped down to 12.6 there, just running the inverter. So 1/10 of a volt is what it takes to run the inverter, just the power for the inverter. All right, so that's taken care of. Leave that on. I have to close the doors because there's dog treats in there and the dogs sneak in and tear the boxes open. So here's the other end of the extension cord. We'll take this over here and set it right there. It's tough working one-handed. And then this is the plug for the saw, as you can see. And we'll plug that in right there. And move around to the other side where they have a switch. And uh-oh. Well, that was a disappointment. I think I popped the breaker on my well, it's still showing power. I don't know why. That's not really flashing. I'm looking at it without the camera. I guess it does somewhat glow on and off, but I wonder why it did that. Who knows? Works just fine, as you can see. And that's how I built almost everything that's on this property, using that running off the back of my van. And of course using mixing with a half-inch drive drill motor, a Milwaukee drill motor, and so forth and so on. I'll clean this all up later. I'll just go shut off the inverter. And it dropped it down to 12.5, so another 1/10 running the saw off of this. So anyway, oh, I don't want to turn that off, I want to turn that off. Anyway, that's what I was talking about with my van service. So if you're going to set up something like this in your vehicle, I suggest instead of a big battery like that one, get 2 of these little yellow batteries. They really are great workhorses. They're not cheap, but they are great workhorses, as you can see. So I'll show you the big one that I also got from Andy. I don't know why I keep going. I've been chatting with Tony today. And here we go. The Optima series. And this is the big one. This is the one he had in his motorhome. And as you can see, it's at 13.1 here. And there's another Harbor Freight solar controller right there. And I can show you better on this one. 45 watt solar kit. And I think this was one of the last ones that they made before they moved to the 100 watt systems. But that's been working just fine all these years. But yeah, if you're going to do it in your car, get yourself Optimus, or in your pickup truck or your van or whatever. Use Optimus. You can't beat those things. They're service free. There's no openings on these things. They're closed. They're super, super strong. Let's see. This one is deep cycle and starting. And it's listed as a high performance AGM battery. Okay. So that's my recommendation. That's my power source in my van. I wanted to cover that today and clean up on what I missed yesterday. So I'm going to get back to work inside of here. I moved some more stuff from over there, made a little bit more of a clearing. I do run my air compressor off of this, the house solar, not the van solar, although I can run it off of the van solar also. I know that that's same as the table saw, 15 amp. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for joining me. This is G-Bear reminding you, thumbs ups down there. Don't forget to share and subscribe. And we'll be talking to you soon. This is G-Bear signing off.